Welcome back to Killer Fun, where we explore the intersection of crime and entertainment every other week. This is Christy, and today, first I want to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. We hope that if you're here in the United States or elsewhere, but still celebrating, that you're having a lovely, lovely holiday. But I have the bonus episode for you of Extremely Shallow, Shockingly Foolish, and Problematic, which was our coverage of Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile, a Netflix movie. I'd like to remind you right here at the top of the show that we are still accepting your hometown murder and crime stories. So please do send those in. Send me a little paragraph, about the weird thing that happened, the botched robbery, the murder, the stupid criminal that people in your family still talk about. And if you're listening to this in the morning, you need something to talk to your family about that isn't politics, then by all means, just, ask them, hey, what's the weirdest thing you remember happening when you were a kid, or when I was a kid, or what was that thing that made you feel sad or scared or baffled for whatever reason. People like to talk about that stuff. But let's get into our outtakes. Jackie and I talk about how Zac Efron, Hansen, and Shawn Mendes make us feel. We talk about The Boys, which is a show about superheroes. Jackie makes an on-the-fly programming decision. We talk about Sounds of the 90s and Visco Girls. We also mentioned The Best of Next Door, which is a tremendously fun follow on Twitter. We discuss the pronunciation of names. We fondly remember Poltergeist. And we heard the most NPR thing ever on NPR, thanks to Science Friday. Enjoy. What? You just seem like
Zac Efron's too hot to play Ted Bundy.
Zac Efron makes me feel dirty. He's too young and he makes me feel dirty.
But he's not really that young.
Well, how old is he?
32.
Okay, I'm 10 years older than him.
Well,
okay,
I know,
so I remember thinking that one of the middle boy in Hansen was so pretty.
Yeah, well, they were all very pretty.
The middle one especially gave me the feels. Mm-hmm. And I was like in my early 20s and he was like a mid-teenager and he made me feel dirty. And I feel that way about Zac Efron.
Yes, I understand that. Although at least he's come into that like 30s where he's got that I don't look like a teeny bopper anymore. Like, you know.
But to see him in like High School Musical and think he was attractive, it made me feel really dirty about myself. Yeah. And
I think he's more attractive now.
I
definitely like. I look at him now, and that's like
now he's a man.
Yeah, truly. Yeah. But I kind of feel the same way about like Shawn Mendes.
Yeah. Yes.
But the way he sings all his songs, uber sexy, but he looks like a child, and it's just like,
and he makes me feel dirty.
I'm gonna listen to you, but I'm not gonna look at your picture. That just ruins everything.
Okay.
Just kidding.
That's fair. That's bonus material right there.
Bonus material. Okay.
Did you see The Boys?
No.
Oh my gosh. He's got a small role in The Boys, but it's like if superheroes were real and corporatized. Like as defenders.
Yeah.
It's so good. You should totally watch it.
I'll have to go find that.
Do not watch it with your children. You hear superhero and you think, oh, maybe, no, this is not for kids.
Well, unfortunately, most of the Marvel movies were hardly for kids.
That's fair. That's fair. We did watch it with my son who loved it.
Yeah.
But he's got a kind of mature entertainment preference.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I mean, maybe with your older son, definitely not with the younger one, because there's a little too much a little sex extra. And language. So give yourself something else to talk about with your family on Thanksgiving. You don't want to talk about politics. Ask them about crime instead. What's that weird thing that happened?
Well, wait. Aren't those the same thing now? Oh, I'm just kidding. Cut that out. Just kidding. He like breaks down crying and all this stuff. Yeah, we'll get to that too.
It's just, I don't know that I will actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We might have to.
Well, okay.
Yeah. Do we have a psychology break?
We do.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, okay. Okay. All right, then.
My pants are very loud. I'm hoping they're not a problem.
Fine.
They're so like rubby. And
no, I think it's fine.
Okay.
These mics pick up a lot less.
Yeah, they're pretty gated.
Yeah.
But I just want to get comfy before.
You do a good job. That's fine.
Louder.
Don't worry about it. If somebody doesn't like it, they'll have to listen. That's fine.
We'll put in the bonus episode, like a bunch of the sounds of the 90s.
Yep.
I saw a posting about Visco girls. My friend had shared it and was like, and it was Forever Mom, whatever, and had written an article and talking about, you're not a Visco girl. I'm a Visco girl. We started that mess. And it's a really funny article. And in the picture, I had to look twice because I could have sworn that was me. They're wearing my hat. Like I owned that hat. It was really funny. The whole article, and you're like, oh my gosh, they really did. They like totally took our style from the 90s.
Yep.
Late 90s, early 2000s.
Yep.
Really, even early 90s.
Yeah, like really. Mm-hmm. Like I'm looking at they're like, this is what's cool. She was like, well, they were talking about the Visco girls. The one thing they do that we didn't was they do some kind of little chatter, like or something. They make some little weird sound, and her kids were telling her how annoying it was. I don't know exactly what it is. They do it a lot. I don't know exactly what it is.
And the water bottles.
Like
the little hydro flask or whatever.
Yeah. No, that was...
We didn't do that, but...
No. The name brand were the shoes. It was your Doc Martens.
I mean...
That were...
Docs, Birks.
Uh-huh.
Do I still have a pair of Docs, 2 pairs of Birks? Sure do. Did I just throw out a pair of Docs and finally fell apart? Sure did.
Uh-huh. Yep. Man, they last forever.
They did. These were my high ones. They came up to my knees, and they were bright yellow and laced all the way up.
That's so cool. They took so long.
Freaking awesome. The new ones I bought are pretty modern. Like they're for work, so they don't have the chunk base, but they still have the stitching. Mm-hmm. So they look a little bit more sleek.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. They were affordable.
Yeah.
They were not like...
Old Docs they're more expensive now even than... When I bought them in high school, I can remember calling around when I had a pair of 8 or 10 holes. Mm-hmm. Higher ones, not all the way up
not
to
the way
knee,
up, but like the higher.
Mm-hmm. And I called around to every Army surplus store in the city to try and find the best price. And it was like, 120, something like
easy.
That. Yeah. And which was fine. I had been saving and I was able to go and do it. And I went to go get just like a pair of 3 holes for myself. I was like, my old ones had died. And I went to get a 3-hole, which had been like $80-$90 back in the 90s, and they were like $150.
They are. They're so expensive.
And I was like,
these new ones were $30, but they're like sleek, and they're not. Cool. They're canvas. I mean, they're not leather. Yeah. So they're easier. But like the real ones, So between like the Docs, the Birks, and the Timberlands.
Yeah.
That was the other side of it.
The Timberlands were a little after me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Timberlands whenever anything
funny is
that
the article was talking about, like, it was girls who grew up, in our time frame or whatever. They were talking about the Birkenstocks. They were like, we wore the original Birkenstocks. And I was like, oh, hold the phone. No, you didn't.
No, we didn't. We wore the reboots.
We wore the first reboot.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's talk to hippies now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just let one boomer see that on internet.
Okay, boomer.
Okay, boomer.
That is my favorite thing right now.
Go ahead.
On Twitter, there's the best of next door. And they post screenshots and stuff, and Like the past 4 days, the only thing they've posted is a screenshot of something. Okay, boomer.
Okay, boomer.
I'm like, that's
so funny. I've got to go look at that.
It's awesome. I love it so much. Okay.
And in fact, they were the original docs too. I have to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah,
90s were a reboot.
Oh, that's fine.
That's okay.
Visco Girls are a reboot of the 90s. They don't even know it. They won't admit it if you try and tell them that. They're like, no, we're different.
Yeah.
Whatever their sound is that they make.
I don't know. It's just so funny.
Yeah. So it makes sense that this is the kind of book that would really speak to Ted Bundy.
Yep.
Because it was about a man who thought he was wrongfully convicted. French prisoner Henri Charrière. It's French, so it's hard to say. Charrière.
What? Oh.
I looked it up earlier and wrote it phonetically.
Oh, okay, good.
All right, I'm going to start that bit over again. What about Carol Ann?
Okay, hold on. Pause. Every time you say Carol Ann, I think of Poltergeist.
Oh.
Carol Ann. Oh my God, the way they say Carol Ann. And I've hated that name ever since. It's so terrifying. Carol Ann. All I can hear is that Carol Ann. And every time they said it in the movie, Carol Ann, I'm like, okay, I'm done.
I was afraid of my closet at night for years.
TV snow?
TV snow never bothered me that much.
Oh, that got
I was terrified I was going to get sucked into my closet.
That was such a good movie. It was such an awesome horror flick.
Yeah, it really was.
Because you know what? First of all, Sam Neill. Need we say more? I mean, absolutely fabulous. But the whole thing's so creepy.
It's so weird and so like scary and ooh.
Yeah. All right. I'm back.
They met at they met at relationship.
They met at relationships.
Can look at the dentist, the dentist. They can look at the dentist stuff. They can. I love Science Friday.
I love it.
My husband. Okay, I'm going to digress a little bit. My husband was off on a Friday a couple weeks ago. And we were laughing because the most NPR thing came on Science Friday like ever. They were like, call in with your questions about mucus. We're like, this is the most NPR thing I've ever heard on NPR. It was like the sweaty balls from SNL. But it was fascinating. Can I tell you? It was so interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's so funny.
I'll put that in the bonus. All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed those things that didn't make it into the main episode. There was a lot of really fun ones this time. Join us next week as we talk about The Following, starring Kevin Bacon. Lots of interesting serial killer and cult things. Man, it's full of all kinds of stuff. So you want to know what we think. Let us know what you think on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Killer Fun Podcast, exploring the intersection of crime and entertainment. Find us on Twitter at Killer Fun Pod, or send me an email, killerfunpodcast@gmail.com. So join us next week and we'll see you soon.
Forge Audio.
Dream it.
Build it.
Share it.